Howdy, Fraser from the Stand Comedy Club podcast here. This week we have the fabulous Kim Blythe, who's taking some time out of her insane career, which has gone from 0 to 100 in the space of about 2 seconds, and she's very kindly chosen to chat with us, and it's lots of fun. Enjoy!
Well, look about, ooh-wee.
So have you done a lot of podcasts already?
Yeah, so I remember I used to think that I would want to be on podcasts. I'm like, that looks like so much fun.
Yeah.
And then I started doing them and I was like, oh, that's a nightmare.
Do you find
So this should be great.
Yeah. Thanks for coming, I guess.
Everyone, welcome Kim Blythe.
Hi.
Or Kimbo, depending on
Or Kimbo,
how you prefer
depending
to
how
be.
long you've been in it.
The trenches.
Chris, cut that.
Do you know what? Can you give us a potted history of how you managed to get to where you are now, sitting in that chair?
Oh my God, where's I even
It
start?
all led up to this.
What?
All
This
led
is
up.
it, the pinnacle.
Being on the stand stage. Aye. No, it's what I was thinking about telling you this. So, obviously I came from like online, right? But before that, the dream was to do comedy and to be a stand-up.
So
but
always, yeah, okay.
I was always wanted to do it, but I was just too anxious. And then in January 2020, I had a bit of a bad gin. I worked in this old man's pub. I was just depressed. I was like, fuck this. And I thought, I need to start doing stuff I want to do. So I didn't really know much about the circuit, but I looked up and heard about Red Raw, looked up and I was like, oh, and I think at that point it was applications opened in April.
Yeah.
So I thought, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to spend a couple of months writing, I'm going to apply. And obviously April 2020,
Oh no.
shit hit the fan.
Yeah.
And then I just started posting. Obviously TikTok came about and I was like, I'll just post wee videos, that'll be fun. Because like probably yous would have been furloughed, you know what I mean, sitting in the house doing fuck all anyway. So I thought, I'll start posting videos. And people liked it, and I just kept going, and here we are.
Yeah.
And then I woke up here.
Nice. 2022.
kidnapped you.
You've been in a
The past 4
coma.
years.
Yeah, just here. So that's how I got it. And then January last year, I had the opportunity to do stand up, and it was just one of those. Because for years I just put it off, and I was like, no, I need to do it. I need to do it, and I did it, and thank fuck I did.
It
Yeah.
must have been kind of wild because I guess you have a sort of it's a somewhat unique experience, I suppose, for the first time you go on stage to already have people know who you are and have
so
a
it's only me and
pressure.
Paul who know about that.
Yeah.
Me and Paul are just the same person.
Paul Black, by the way.
Paul Black, yeah. I mean, it's strange to feel so new at something, but have a part of it that a lot of your colleagues now are trying to graft for, and it's like, right, I've got that bit.
Yeah.
I need to figure out how to actually, you know what I mean? It's like, oh no, I've sold tickets. I just don't know how to actually do stand-up.
But you can see when, same with Paul as well, when you're both on stage, you can tell that you've got like the comedy, you like get how to do comedy. I think a lot of people, there's definitely a prejudice about it, but a lot of
100%.
like people that make their success online first have no idea and like don't know how to talk to people in a room, and like their greatest strength is like the short form content. But you could definitely tell that you and Paul are comedians.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. I mean, it was important to me because I was very, very paranoid about being that wank for TikTok who comes in and goes, right guys, I'm gonna just so I was very paranoid. So I mean, I did the Viv G course that everyone's done.
You say everyone, but we've definitely had folk on the stage that should have done this.
The Viv G course that people should be doing.
But it's the right thing to do. I mean,
Yeah.
and I'm not going to name any names because that's not cool. But like, you do sometimes get people that come on that are like, as Molly said, they've made their whole career and then they just don't know how to be a stand-up comedian.
Yeah.
And it's like, so I think having that fundamental training, plus also a genuine ability to do comedy, which is not a, you know.
I think it's, for me as well, it was important to like actually make pals.
Oh, 100%.
You know what I mean? Actually have comedian pals. So like
Yeah.
at this point I was like, Amanda Dwyer's like one of my really good pals,
Yeah.
Amelia Bella,
Friend of the show.
Susan Riddle, like these are like friend of the show, friend of me as well. No, but they're my genuine pals, and like I think because I remember, when I was like at the end of 2023, I was like, right, I want to get to stand up, but I'm gonna have to. I was really guilty of not really going to a lot of stand up shows, and I was like, before I dare enter this space, I really need to do my homework and figure out what it's all about. And I went to Drygate. I think it was Chris. I used to run the Drygate night. And I was leaving, and I bumped into Susan Riddle. She'd been doing the gig, but we got stuck in the car park together. So it was the first time I'd ever met her. And she was like, you do TikTok? I was like, yeah. And she said, she was like, you ever done stand up? She's like, because we run this night, Material Girl, and I was like, I know. I was like, but I'd love to go to that. So then I started going to that, and then was just pure like, I'm going to make these two lassies my pals. They don't know about that, but Susan and Amanda are going to be my pals.
Well done.
I know it was good, but I need to like give credit, because I just think having people that have been there, done that, and been able to like lean on them in a way that's like genuine, rather than just invading the space and being like, well, I need you to help me because I've got this crowd and I need to know, you know what I mean? Just actually going in with being a bit genuine and just. I'm talking shite now, but you know.
No, I genuinely think like the way that you've done it was obviously worked well for you, because as we've said, there's like so many people that come here, people who do have a big audience, they can sell out the show, and then it's just like a bit embarrassing. They and you feel, well, maybe the crowd don't mind because they're excited to see the person that they're a fan of, so it doesn't really matter if they're shit on stage. I seen
a TikTok the other day there of the guy. So the guy never named who it was, but all the comments were like, it's this person, and I never heard them.
I think I've seen this TikTok.
Yeah, so it was basically if you hadn't seen it, it was basically an actual comedian that was like talking about a time where this guy who's got a big following online went to a comedy club and was like, let me have a go. I've got all these followers.
He had like a crew with him.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
So the guy was like, it was a fairly low stakes night. So we're like, you know what? Just let him go on, and said it was like absolutely horrendous. It was like a terrible, and it's that like that ego of being like, and I know people that are like that as well. It's like thinking that just because you've got this online, that it doesn't translate in person all the time. You've got to put in the work, because it's like a completely different art form, really.
What was and how was your very first time in front of an audience doing live stand-up?
The first time was last February.
That's so mad.
I went to I don't want to mention any competitors here.
You can mention it.
We'll bleep them out.
We know that there's some worse clubs than this. You can name them.
I went through Edinburgh, because I just googled. I was like, right, I'll just see like if there's any open mic spots or whatever. And it was that worst night. Yeah, it is the worst night, because it's like all you're doing, you're obviously.
We couldn't possibly comment, but you can say what you like.
No, watch me next year try to get like a deal with them for the Fringe. I'm like, I don't know who said that. It was weird. No, it's not even. It's nothing to do with them. It's just the way the night's set up. It's obviously it's like your name goes in a fucking bucket, and it's just picked out at random, and all you're doing is a gig in front of other comedians who, as soon as they're done, they're away. So the audience is just slowly getting smaller. I was so lucky that I got picked second. It was Marilyn that was hosting it, and I got picked second. I was like, oh, thank God. And then I did it, and I was like, oh, that was like drugs. I loved that.
Oh,
like,
really?
That was so good. Like,
was that before you done the course?
It was while I was doing the course.
Okay.
Nice.
So I was doing, so at the end of the course you do like the gig at the end of it, but I was like, I don't want that to be my first time. I need to just go and it's funny because I look back, I went through my pal Stacey, and I remember the whole day I was like, I can't eat. I was just so nervous. I was like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. Like I'd built it up so much, because it's for years that I thought about doing this. So it was like this big massive mountain, and then I'm glad that I got picked second, so I got over and done me, and then I was like,
and also got to play to an audience.
I actually got to.
Yeah. Did you have, like, was your set something that you'd thought about for a really long time? Or was it like, did you come up with it quite last minute?
It was so weird, because the way I've done everything's so bloody weird. But the way obviously normal people do it, and the way you should do it, is that obviously you build up to your 5 and you build up whatever. But signed up for Viv's course, but then also signed up for the Glasgow Comedy Festival to demo an hour.
Whoa!
As in so
For that much?
We're filming this in April, so
Oh,
as
wait.
it just happened.
No, the year before, last year.
So like
So you were doing the course in February and you had a full 1 hour ready for March. That's insane.
Absolutely mental.
Was that the
So
same show as
crazy.
that you did for the Fringe
Yes.
last year?
Yeah.
I saw it.
So
Jeez.
I just went a bit mental. I spent a couple of months writing this show. I mean, I'd had things because I wanted to do it for years. I did have things. I was
Yes.
like, if I was
Yeah.
ever to do this is what I would talk about, whatever.
Yeah.
So it wasn't necessarily starting from scratch, but now that I'm in my second year, I'm like a veteran now, obviously.
Yeah, you know
But I do
everything.
look back and I'm like, why the fuck did
Yeah.
anyone let me do that? That is
Yeah.
mental. That I was just
But
like,
great that they did.
I mean, it was great and it worked to fight. I mean, it could have went terrible.
Yeah, exactly.
But it didn't. It was great. So I done my Viv G course gig was on the Thursday, and then my solo show was the following night.
Jesus.
And I was like, and
So
it
you'd
was
had the experience of doing 2 gigs before you?
two gigs, and then went to the full
My
hour,
God.
like an absolute
How many
cycle.
people came to the
So
comedy festival one?
so I ended up doing 2 because the first one was at Tennant's Bar, which was about 50. And that sold out like within like 15 minutes, which was mental. So I was like, right. So then the festival were like, would you like to do like the Autumn more? And I was like, fuck it, right. So then the following week I did the Autumn. I did the same show at the Autumn more like a week later.
That's so
that was like my
mad.
4th gig.
That's mad.
That is
Crazy.
insane.
But it's not, as I said, see now I look back, I mean, the amount of things I did last year, like I did my show and then I did like loads of, like I did loads of, I done like material, like I did as many gigs as I could between the Comedy Festival and the Fringe.
Yeah.
But I never done one work in progress. I'd just be a rot doctor. I like changed, like there was one bit that I was like, don't like that as much, change it with that. And then just went to the Fringe and I look back, I'm like, what a cycle.
Wow. Did you do the whole Fringe? Like the whole
I
however
done
many days it was?
19 days.
Okay.
So it was like, I was
It's a good
Right.
job.
With
It's a
the-
good job.
With the gilded balloon.
gilded balloon, yeah.
Wow.
Aye, so this year I'm doing work in progresses, that'll be
Try
fun.
to do it more properly.
I'm trying to actually...
But what if it fucks you and you're like,
what if
you're
I'm like,
I
no,
should
I
be
need to
doing
just
it
do
some
this
mental
once.
way.
You had a system that worked.
I'll do the Kings in 2 months.
I just need to practice it once, never look at it again.
So mad.
And then, I know, but it's just, I feel like I was just lucky because I'm like, God.
Well,
Yeah.
it's not just definitely luck is always involved, but it can't just be luck because
No,
if
there has to be talent involved.
Yeah.
And hard work. It's hard
Definitely.
work. Writing is, normal people do it badly. It must be hard.
Yeah.
And also, I suppose, even though you hadn't done so much stuff in front of an audience, like you did have practice making stuff that was funny, and like
Oh,
you're
that,
doing it in
aye.
front of an audience that's not right there, but they're like giving you feedback and comments and stuff. So.
Oh, 100%. Well, I think that as well, as much as people... To be fair, I'm not going to be bad actually, because I've been really lucky that everyone's been dead nice to me, and maybe behind my back they've been like, fuck her, but like, to my face everyone's been nice to me. But that's the thing, it isn't just like, I have been writing for years, and especially the type of stuff I do, like I've managed to get bits out of videos and being like, well, actually that went really well, maybe I could actually work that into writing it. And so I have been writing for years, just in a really weird way.
It just goes to show that, because when we were speaking to Susie McCabe, we've asking people how they got to be where they are now, and it's just like none of it is solid. Like there's not
a proper
rules,
way to do
really.
it.
Like,
Yeah. Actually, yeah, like Liam Farley, his
did-
first Red Raw.
3 months later, he was
3
on.
months later, he was on Scott Squad.
Yeah, it's
Aye.
insane.
Because the guy was in the audience, like a guy from the audience was.
Man.
and
part
that's
of the-
luck and talent.
Yeah. So there's like mad stuff happens all the time. I guess.
Aye, it's good to
Match
do a bit
stuff
of both.
happens
You have
all
to
the
put
time.
yourself in the right place for these things to
Yeah.
happen. You
Yeah.
have to sort of put yourself out there and stuff. This happens in April, but it means we've just had the Glasgow Comedy Festival in Glasgow. How was the difficult second show? How was Cowboy?
Oh yeah.
It was great. Because it was, so the first show I did, I really wanted to, because I think it would have been easier for me in my first show to use a projector and kind of have a crutch. And I was just adamant when I was like, no, I want to just do stand up. I just want to do an hour of stand up. So this show, I feel like, well, I can have more fun, and it's not going to feel like a crutch. It's not going to feel like, oh, well, I need. So I use a projector in this show.
Cool, okay.
But you proved yourself the first time around.
Yeah.
and
Well,
that's fine.
that's what I wanted to do, because I
Yeah.
didn't want it to be like, oh, she needs that. Cause,
Also, funny's funny.
well, that as
However
well.
you get the laugh, who cares?
I'm learning. I'm now like, once again, because I'm a veteran now, I'm kind of like, well, you know what, fuck it, I'll do what I want.
Yeah.
But like at the as I said, it was just important for me to enter this space just being as respectful as I could and just no being a wank to people. That's what.
That's
with
so
the-
important.
It is really
so
important.
important. And
the-
loads of people forget it.
With the projector, are you like making videos for the show, or are you using videos you've already made?
No. So no, it's still.
Or is it not videos?
It's still stand up at its root, but it's like it's just where I've found bits that can add to a joke.
Okay,
so it
okay.
still is like a stand up show,
yeah.
and then I've got like a wee 5-minute video at the
Okay,
end
okay.
that kind of ties
Yeah,
the show
cool.
up. But it's nice as well. The show has like it's not like a serious theme, but it's got a theme where there's like. My first show was just like, here's jokes, which I think a lot of people's first show is. It's just like, here's the first hour of jokes I've ever came up with. Enjoy. So this one is like, oh, well, it's been nice to actually have a bit more fun with it and be a bit more silly and not feel as self-conscious, because the first show was just like, can I actually get up and do it? You know what I mean? So yeah, it's good. As I said, it's the projector's there, but it was important as well to just make sure it's only there to add to a joke, not to like be the joke, if that makes sense. So there's just a few parts where I'm telling stories, and it's like, because it was Zara Gladman came to my show and she was like, it's great, it's almost like you've got receipts for your stories. And it just makes it funnier because there's just parts where it's like, this actually happened, here's proof. You know what I mean? It's it's no, so it's
I've seen a few shows like that, especially at the Fringe, actually, like where it's sort of like the comedian will tell the joke, and so it's already funny, and then it's like an extra little bit, like an extra little punchline after. Yeah.
Ralph Brown had that with his
Oh,
show last year.
yeah.
My first hostage situation.
Yeah.
That was good, and it like really punctuated the jokes with like, oh no, that because the story is mad.
Yeah, because it helps it, but it helps it like be like, oh, this did actually happen. Yeah,
I think that's it as well. I think sometimes, because I have a TikTok audience that come at my shows, so I need the screen to be like, right guys, I'm losing you.
You should do a show
play like
where
a Subway Surfer or whatever.
But you had in your Fringe show last year, you had like a through story of you getting fired, right?
Yes, I sure did.
Yeah.
Wait, from where? I didn't see the show. Where'd you get fired?
If anyone does want to watch the show, it's on YouTube.
Oh well, maybe I won't spoil it then.
Nah, who gives a fuck? So 1,000 views, no one cares.
Not after this.
So it was actually funny the way that came about. So I got fired for Sports Direct, right?
Wait, I think I've maybe
think
have you done a bit?
I've done it here.
Okay, yeah.
And I think I might have brought the poster here. I think I done Material Girl in November and I brought the poster here.
Yes.
But for those who don't know, I got sacked for Sports Direct, and the reason I got sacked is because we took my pal's phone, we took about 100 photos on the phone, and in one of them I got my arse out and my pal put it on Twitter, and that was me in my uniform or whatever. But the funniest part of the story is that we all 4 of us got fired and we all got sent.
Not fair.
And which was, to be fair, I was going to say they're all in a better place, but that makes it sound like
They've crossed the rainbow bridge.
they're all in a better place now. But all 4 of us got sent a disciplinary pack in the post to our home address, and in that pack it'll tell you why you're being disciplined and any evidence that supports that. So basically all 4 of us got sent a picture of my arse in the post. And when I was going to do the Fringe,
That should be in your poster.
it should have been. When I done the Fringe, I was like, I want to like that's the last joke of the show, and I was like, I want her to be like, I want to show people the picture of my arse. So I was like, right, there's a projector there, I'll just use the projector. And then I found out it was £30 a performance to use the projector.
What?
And I was like, you know what, for one gag at the end,
Is it worth
I'll
it?
go to the printers.
Yeah.
And
What you could have done is at the end of the show, like, does anyone want to see the last joke? And then put a bucket round. And then £30, right? Projected now.
we only get to see this and he's a favourite.
You got to pay for it. Each laugh, you got to pay for it.
But just, I think it worked out so much funnier because I basically just got a big rolling,
Yeah.
like
the banner thing.
like a big
Yeah.
banner thing, and it was so awkward to bring it, which I think just added to it, like how, because I had a wee bit at the end where I used to just be like, imagine I like went to a printer's. Like, of course I went, how fucking stupid. And it was so much fun to go back and forth and people going, does she have, I don't know if she does she? And then I would just awkwardly come out carrying this big phone and me mass out. And then I remember after the Fringe thinking, I wonder if I should have told anyone about that.
Nah.
I was like, new day.
It's your arse. Like,
What is that fucking?
I need to fire you again. No.
That's
When
a shame.
I was
Oh, no, Sports Direct, I wouldn't have told that. I just mean like,
like
the French, the promoters of that. I'm like, baby, I planned nudity in this show.
It's like you need to put a trigger warning on there.
Trigger warning arse.
That's
so, yeah.
It's like that gives it away. But I have thought about Sports Direct as well. I'm like, I wonder if they care that I'm telling them. I mean, fuck them. They're a terrible company and they're body shaming bastards. But I mean,
yeah.
That's such shame that you got fired for that, because that's how I got this job.
You were waiting so long to say that. I was like, wait for the balls, wait for the balls. When I was doing jury duty, it was for a mad case. Yeah. It was a mad, like it was almost like Breaking Bad type shit, like big drug thing. But
that's my dream.
Part of the evidence, I can't remember why, but it was like to prove that there was like 5 guys on trial at once. And I think it was to prove that one of the guys was in London at a certain time or something. They had access to all their WhatsApps that they'd sent to each other. So one of the WhatsApps that this guy who was in London had sent was that I think he'd gone to get surgery. That's like why he was in London. Mm-hmm. So he was in a hotel room having just had the surgery, and he sent a picture of himself in the mirror to one of the other guys who was on trial. And the picture was him like fully naked, except from this big like bandage nappy, like round.
That's so
his,
embarrassing.
Like round his whatever, like round his middle.
Alibi.
And that was to prove that he was, like the prosecution were saying, look, we know you were in London because you sent this picture.
Oh, so not an alibi.
Yeah. And so it was just such a it was such a serious case, and it was such a crazy thing. Like there was multiple TVs and screens
so
around the room,
funny.
and it was so funny, and it'd been so dull the whole time. So it was like, and you can't laugh. So I was trying to look at anything to not laugh, and then I looked over to where the guy was sitting. I made eye contact with him, and he was like, it was like fuck. It was crazy.
That's so funny.
And
we should get him on the pod.
They're all in prison now.
Justice has been served.
I
for that photo.
Just check which part of the drug dealing Breaking Bad situation was your dream.
Oh yeah.
All of it, no. No, I'm one of these people that
Do you want to do jury duty?
dying to do.
Oh, it's class. Breaking Bad style.
Drugs, drugs is what you want.
Class.
You
Drugs is what you want.
It went on for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, mine. I did it, and I was
I don't understand how, because I feel like the same people I know keep getting picked for it.
I've heard that. Sean,
Yeah.
who works here, gets asked like every 2 months.
There was a woman on my jury who was on the jury with me, and it was her third time. Or 4th time even.
I feel like everyone should get a shot.
I agree.
They asked me once, and I was like, I'm going to Australia, and they never asked me again.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was it.
Mine only it could have lasted ages, but mine only lasted a day. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
There was people where you'd get the same catering people every day. I had a baked potato every day for 2 weeks.
What was on your baked potato? What were your options?
Like I think it was like beans and cheese or whatever.
And you had the same one every day?
Yeah.
You didn't look like one day
The
beans, one day
menu,
cheese?
you got the menu in the morning, and you got to choose like a starter, a main. You could either choose a starter and a main, or a main and a dessert.
Oh.
And the options for starter were like a glass of orange juice, a fruit salad, or soup. And the glass of orange juice was like this, but it was quite like Starbucks.
The Starbar is like...
It was quite like Starbucks.
Wasn't it
I
a
hate that.
£4 lunch? I don't know.
But
it's not-
anyway, the caterers, they were like, obviously they're seeing the same people every day for a bit. They were like, oh, you've been here for a while. This is quite a long case. And they said that there was a case like the previous year that had lasted a year.
Could you imagine eating a baked potato with cheese every day for a year? Kim,
Yeah,
if you had to
actually.
choose, would you have breakfast? Would you have a starter and main,
That's what
or
I was
main and
thinking.
dessert? If that's your choice.
don't
I'm
remember
a
what the dessert
savoury
options were.
girly.
So you're going starter.
I'm
and
going
If the
So-
starters was
do you know
fruit
how-
salad or orange juice.
But you
No,
know,
I'm talking about a regular.
Oh,
one,
in the
sorry.
regular day. This is how
get her
pathetic
off
I am, right?
menu.
I am so like excited and giddy about things like that. See the idea, like, oh my god, I get my lunch every day.
Literally, it's
Like I
class.
did.
That's class.
I filmed something a couple of months ago with the BBC, and they sent me like a taxi every day, and I was like,
Wow.
like, I'm so pathetic. This is me like sitting in the taxi, like
That's how I
Going
feel
live.
whenever we've done, because we're part of the union, like in it, whenever we've done stuff with the union and we've like gone somewhere, the union pays for a whole hotel room per person.
Yeah.
You're not sharing
So
hotel rooms.
exciting.
It's mental.
So exciting.
It's just a Premier
a
Inn,
hotel
but like
breakfast.
unreal.
Oh, see, I
Unreal.
don't care where I am. See if I get a hotel
Hash
breakfast, I'm
browns.
like, look at me.
It's
I
so
said
good.
it.
I made
I said it's
it.
happened.
I don't even eat breakfast in
No,
my
me
normal
too.
day to day. But if there's a hotel breakfast,
I'm having three.
I'm fucking
Five
up. I've got my wee pot of tea and I'm
Yeah.
sitting there. I'm like, this is
I'll
it.
have
Yeah.
an orange juice, an apple juice, a water, a coffee.
I crammed
Oh, so many liquids. So many liquids.
But there's like with liquids, you have one for function, one
Yeah.
for pleasure.
Oh, is it one for fun, one for fun, one for business?
one for business, one for fun. That's how it works.
But there's also like the two little mini Nutellas, mini
Oh, I
Marmites,
steal
mini
hundreds
butters.
I'm not a
of them.
Marmite guy, but I'm.
Every
I love
time
that for
It's
you.
free.
I take all the coffee, all the tea, loads of things in Nutella, honey, jam. every time I come back
Yeah.
from the hotel.
Oh, I've
I've
toured for
full.
like when I was working in theatre. I toured all the time, and every hotel I would clear out the tea and coffee.
Yeah, yeah,
and in my
yeah.
rucksack that I bring to work, the whole front pocket is just full of tea and
Still.
coffee. It's still because I took so much.
Beautiful.
I took so much stuff. Also, top tip for anyone that's ever going to a Premier Inn: if you're not convinced that it's like been made recently, ask for an omelette. They make them fresh. Take that to the bank.
Ah.
That's it.
Yeah, but then you have to eat an omelette.
Okay, or you can eat old straggly eggs.
They
if you
also,
want.
yeah, if you want a vegetarian sausage, they cook them fresh.
So there you go. You have eggs or vegetarian. That's your option.
Wow.
They
I
just
would-
bring you like two sad sausages on a big plate. It's a bit weird.
Yeah, why is the plate so big?
I don't know.
I like the best hotel breakfast I ever ate was in Denmark. We went for my grandpa's
Oh.
70th birthday, and we went after his birthday, and every time we sat down for anything, any coffee, any breakfast, or any just kind of break, we someone would go, oh, happy birthday, Grandma. Happy birthday, Dad. And we did it for the whole thing. And he was like so like unfussed about his birthday as well. So he was like, yeah, thanks. But we went to this really fancy hotel, and it was literally like I still dream about it, because you had a station.
I'm going to be dreaming about it.
honestly. They had like a full. You walk in, and then there's 4 tables in like a diamond
Specifics.
formation, all the way up, meeting like that, and then with shelves, and it's Danish pastry, Danish pastry, Danish pastry. Like
Oh, I
that's
see.
the pastry.
Wow.
Well, we were in
Section.
Denmark, so
Yeah, they did have an omelette station, so you'll be fine.
I don't even like omelette so much. I
Omelette
just like fresh food.
specifically, not just
Omelette.
egg section.
No, omelette station. They had then the savory cooked breakfast. Then they had the cereal station. They had porridge. They also had like toast with egg, like circle in the toast with the egg in
Oh,
that.
like they cut the hole out. Yeah.
And then they had toast with butter and sprinkles on.
Oh yeah, European.
And then they had like fruit section, so I went straight past that.
Yes.
Yeah, fuck that. I'm not filling up on that. That's shite. and they what else did they? There was literally, it was just so much stuff,
I
and it was
forgot
all
about
amazing.
pastries when we're talking about a like hotel. Because
Yeah.
that's as well. It's
Yeah.
the having the pastry,
Yeah.
having the fucking
having a
Don't you also
pastry
put, like, a
and
pastry
the
in your
cooked
pocket?
breakfast.
Yeah,
and,
yeah,
oh
yeah.
yeah.
Pastry
Wrapped
pocket
in a
pastry.
napkin,
Yeah.
yeah.
Sorry.
When I went into Reeling for like a fucking month once. This is crazy by myself. Anyway, every time I had an option to have breakfast, I would like just take like twice as much breakfast and have it in my bag. I didn't pay for like any lunch for the whole time.
Well, that's what you got to do.
Crazy. There were so many
Smart.
like yeah.
I like how much
Yeah.
we're talking about breakfast.
I know.
It's good.
What's your if you were just to have one plate? What would your breakfast be?
me, man. The questions
Or
on this
bowl.
podcast.
Or bowl?
Like, well, like what would? Because I love a bit of everything. That's my problem. I like a bit of
Oh,
just
a wee bit, yeah,
a wee bit
tapas.
of everything.
Breakfast tapas,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like a wee bit. So I would just
Like breakfast tapas.
That's
yeah.
literally what I just
Is
said.
Oh, I'm sorry, I can hear you. I'm so sorry.
So next
Even
week's
like breakfast tapas.
Oh, that's excellent, Kim.
I'm being silenced.
Sorry.
There's going to be a red dot on my forehead in a sec.
In a full like a Scottish breakfast or whatever. Is there anything that you would prefer not to have?
No,
Well,
I'm
like
not a
cooked
haggis.
tomato.
I'm not a haggis guy.
Don't like cooked tomato.
love haggis. I don't mind cooked tomatoes.
I'll eat it.
Aye, my partner's like very fussy. Like she's so
okay.
fussy. So I get to have what she doesn't
Ah,
want.
okay, well, that's
and
pretty
it just works out great.
Yeah,
It's
that's
actually things are going really well, guys.
Congratulations on your
Aye.
I feel like a lot of comedians are so food motivated as well. Like the do you know what I mean?
like a
Like
dog.
Labradors.
No, but
Well, the comedians are fat as fuck.
that's not what I mean.
What are you gonna
No,
say?
as in like because I feel like people that comics talk about like mad shit on stage, and then the stuff that comedians want to talk about off stage is just like, oh, I've eaten this really good
You know,
spaghetti.
it's like, you know what you're talking about. You're talking like green room chat.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that
yeah,
is exactly
yeah,
what green
yeah.
room chat is, because
Yeah.
people are like, it must be so great, and it's
Yeah.
like, no, it's like
Boring
saying
as
that, like,
fuck.
got into detail about their breakfast, like,
yeah.
like literally that routine would be said in a serious fucking context.
And it's also like met with such enthusiasm as well, being like, I mean, yous were all riveted by my pastry pyramid.
But maybe that's why off menu is so successful, because
Maybe.
everyone has a lot to say about food.
Yeah, maybe. During the Fringe last year, Mark Thomas, who I love,
Friend of the show.
Friend of the show.
friend of the show, friend of me,
He has promised to come on the pod, so maybe
Yeah.
we'll try and catch him in August during the Fringe.
and he used to check in to see what I've eaten. He was like, "What have you eaten today? What have you eaten?
What you eat today?
Yeah. What you fucking
What you
eating?"
fucking been eating?
And I would be
Oh,
like,
those Tories.
yeah. And I would always, I
Sorry,
did
Mark.
get into a routine where the first thing I would do when I come in would get a coffee, and then after Material Girl, I would treat myself to a bag of chili peanuts.
Wow.
And that would be the first thing I would eat. Anyway, I digress. But he once gave me a sandwich.
He did once
I
give you a
just
sandwich.
realised that was so boring.
You just wanted
yeah.
to tell everyone that Mark Thomas bought you a sandwich.
Love you, Mark. I love him.
No, but no, I need to know now what
was
was
on
in
the
the sandwich. You can't just
So
drop
it was
that.
one of those baguettes. It was one of those baguettes that have like the really pointy.
Oh, I love
Right.
them.
Oh,
Yeah.
like a sourdough loaf almost, because they're the ones that usually have the French.
Maybe.
Okay, nice, they're good.
First point.
And then it was pesto.
But bad start.
right?
Oh my god! Actually, tied in, I was given that sandwich, and then I went to watch your show.
Really?
Yeah, I did.
What
Because
day
that
you
is
had
actually
it?
yeah.
Wow.
It was pesto, mozzarella, chicken, and then it had basil in it as
Christ,
well.
that sounds gorgeous.
And
does
then
sound
some
great.
roasted veg, because he was like, "You need to eat veg."
Was the cheese melted?
No,
That's the only
Was
thing I
it
would
from the
improve.
square?
Yeah.
Sorry, no, I won't say that.
What, from the
it
place
wasn't.
next door?
It wasn't.
Yeah.
I don't know where it was from, but it was really nice that he brought me that, and then I was glad to have eaten it, because I did then go to Star Bar after to
Love
meet,
that place.
to meet my friends Lucy
Friend
and
of the show.
Katie, friend of the show, and I had a pint, and that pint went straight to my head,
Yeah.
and then went to watch your show, and it was great.
And she heckled the whole time.
yeah,
and I'm sorry. I'm sorry I had to chuck you out, but that fucking
no.
How did you find your first, like, because it was also still so new to you, like your first Fringe run, like the.
It was this like were you
The
like dead
stand-up.
by the end?
aye. I was
Did you enjoy the
emotionally
Fringe?
drained.
Yeah.
I was just, because like there was like in my head, I was like, should I go do it? It's probably too soon. Should I go do it? And then I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just gonna. Against advice, I was like, I'm just gonna go and do it. You know, YOLO. That was terrible. Cut that.
Don't cut it.
I feel like nothing is going to be cut from this. Like, this is the longest
The
we've done.
easiest edit video. No, but I was like, no, I'm just gonna go do it. And once again, I'm glad I did it. Might have went terrible, but it ended up working out well. But what it was the emotional aspect, because I think I was quite naive. Thinking I knew it'd be hard, but you know that way it was like I've grafted all my days, and I'm like, I used to do like 12-hour shifts in a bar.
Right, yeah.
How fucking hard can an hour a day be compared to? And it's the mental toll that, like, because physically I felt like I'm not exhausted, but it's that you feel exhausted because mentally you're constantly just. And I think it's just the mad difference between when a show goes well, be like, yes, I'm the best. Whoa, I should do this all the time.
Yeah.
And then when something goes wrong, going, well, this is the end of it.
miserable.
Like,
I've never
chuck
said
everything
anything
in.
funny.
Yeah, like I'm
And
the
then
worst person ever.
were you hanging out with other comedians quite a lot?
No,
Okay.
I was very
Did
isolated.
you stay through here and then
I was
were you,
just
like, commuting
travelling
through?
every day.
Yeah,
I
okay.
travelling.
Yeah.
I think the most I say, I mean, I've done Material Girl a couple of times. I think there was a couple of days I hung about with Amanda for a bit, but other than that, because this is so daft, but I was so like, my show was on at 9 o'clock at night, and it's just like, I can't see any shows before mine because I'm just
like putting in the wrong headspace.
I just like so in my head with everything.
Yeah.
I was like, oh no, be like there was one Saturday that my mates came through and they're like, just come out with us, and I was like, I did. So they all got steaming. It was the worst day ever. We went to like one of those. It was actually a really good show if you were drinking, but it was like this like boozy show where it's like you paid like £20 for
Was it Thinking Drinkers?
Viking Drinkers. That was
They've
it.
done-
Yeah.
They've been
They've
here.
been
Yeah.
here. It's
Yeah.
actually
It was
a really
good.
show.
But
Not-
you weren't drinking.
Not great show
Yeah.
if you're not drinking. I mean, it's still
Yeah.
a good show, but in that way, all my pals were absolutely steaming after it.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, why have I done this? So yeah, I most of the time just didn't really do anything before, and it was rubbish because I missed. Like I just seen Marilene's show. At the Autumn there because I'd missed
because
her
you hadn't
show
seen it
because
then,
I was
yeah.
like I was just too much in my head. So
Yeah.
this year, I'm hoping
Yeah.
I may actually enjoy it.
Yeah.
And I did enjoy it, but it was
But you
just
can do more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel more confident, and I
Getting-
think
yeah. Now you're a veteran.
you know, it turns out when you don't do work in progresses, your show's a bit more daunting to
Funny
show
that.
one. I'm like, what is this again? So
Do you know what time your show is? this
yeah,
year?
7:30.
Okay.
So it's
there's time
better
after.
time. Yeah,
Plug it out if you want.
There's time before as well.
7:30 where?
7:30 at Gilded Balloon.
Nice.
Get your tickets. now.
Get
Can
every
you get
day
tickets now?
other than 11. You can get tickets now. I
I think all Fringe stuff's pretty much on sale now. I think everything's
damn.
been.
think there's one more. I think
Feels
May.
to go.
There's one more date to go.
The time this comes out is probably already all out.
Aye.
So
Yeah.
So get your tickets. They're selling fast.
Wow.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
I've checked. I'm lying. I check every day. I don't know why I'm trying to pretend. I've not even looked.
I don't even care. I don't even. Yeah.
I
There
don't
was
even
one
care.
time, I'm not going to say what comedian it was, but we were at Late Club and this comedian was standing in front of me. So it was like after midnight probably. And they were just holding a beer and with their other hand scrolling through every date of their like the sales report, just like looking at it.
That
think
must be
so.
part of
Not
that-
not
that's part of
looking at
that
the show
mental
at all.
toil,
Not
though.
that. I was like, oh god.
That's-
I was like,
yeah.
it's not because it's not just the hour you're on stage. If I have anything, that might be the easiest bit because
Yeah.
you know what you're doing for that 1
Yes,
hour.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
the rest of the day where you're like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I wonder if I was gonna say if you had been hanging out with other comedians a lot, like them having their own neuroses about their shows and like that, like them either doing really well or doing really badly might affect how you feel. I don't know, like
Yeah, I mean, I think, to be honest, I was just so new to it, and even, like, I hung about with Amanda a couple of times, but I still at that point wasn't, like, good pals or
I
anything.
see,
But just,
yeah.
Amanda just happens to be the nicest person in the world.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
when I
yeah.
was, like, doing Material Girl at, like, 12, and I was like, I actually have nothing to do until my
Right.
show the night, and I was just hung about. But I'm excited this year because I do have
know
more
more people.
comedian pals, and I will be a bit more comfortable, and I
Yeah.
will be able to enjoy it. And I think last year as well, I struggled with, and I hate even saying this because I sound like such a wank, but I was going to some shows of people who I love, and when I was sitting in a crowd with 4 other people, and I'm like, why the fuck
Yeah,
am I like
that's such a
sold
shame.
out my show the
Yeah,
night?
that's
You've
hard.
been grafting for years,
Yeah, yeah,
and here more people need to be here and say it. So I
Yeah.
tried my best to plug as much as I could
Yeah,
on my
that's
socials
good.
and be
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
fucking go see this person.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm very passionate about doing as well, because there's lots of people who come to see me who don't go and see stand-up
they'll
shows.
like not see anything
So
else.
it's like
Yeah.
at my shows this year at the Comedy Festival, I was right at the beginning. I'm like, see, if you enjoyed this, go see more.
Yeah.
Because they're fucking better. Like, there's people who've been doing this for a lot longer than me.
Yeah.
So go and, like, if you enjoyed this, keep going to other shows and support it. And
But I think that's part of the charm of the Fringe. I mean, this is such an obvious thing to say, but there's so much that you can watch.
Yeah.
It is overwhelming because you're like, "Oh, I don't know.
How do you choose?
And particularly because of prices of stuff at the moment, there is shite at the Fringe.
Yeah.
And you don't want to, like,
don't
people
waste your
don't,
money.
yeah, people don't want to take a punt as much because they're like, oh, I don't know whether it's going to be
that's
good or
why
not.
like mixed bill shows like Material Girl,
Mm-hmm.
which I believe will be on at the Fringe this year at the stand.
Yep.
Are good shows because if you don't know what you want to see, come see that, and you might see Kim,
Yeah.
you'll see Susan, you'll see Amanda, you'll see other comedians that are doing stuff, and that kind of gives you a taste of like, oh, actually, maybe I'll go catch that. Like, and other clubs obviously
Yeah.
do best of shows. They're just not as good as ours, but like those mixed lineups are definitely,
Yeah,
they're
definitely.
good value in terms of if you don't know what you want, it's quite a good way. But I do think actually just take a punt. I remember
Yeah.
it's been so long since I went to the Fringe as just a guy, like just gone.
I
I
don't think
just-
I've never.
I think I went as a teenager, but I've not been since about the age of 18. But I
I've
used to
worked the
just
Fringe
go
since I was 14.
and just like I'd take like 5 flyers and I would go, right, we're gonna go to that one.
Yeah,
I'd just
yeah.
go to one, and just, like,
Yeah.
and like I thought that was great because you'd see someone like a shape every so often. You'd see something class.
Yeah.
I think I saw there's that Irish sketch group Foil Arms and Hog.
Oh, yeah.
I
yeah.
saw them in a shed, and now you cannot get tickets to see
Wow.
them. They
Yeah,
sell out,
that's
like-
cool.
and I was like, I saw those guys playing like a tiny shed
That's-
somewhere in the back.
wow,
and-
that's cool.
Because I took a flyer and I was like, let's go see this one.
Yeah,
I think
Yeah,
as
it's
well,
worth it.
you get like, I've had more experience this with music than I've had with comedy, but I think the buzz you get when you see someone
Definitely.
who's so small
Yeah.
and you're like,
you can
like,
see
like,
the
aye,
like,
and you're
what-
like,
yeah.
oh, I saw them when they were
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
like, it's, I love that feeling.
Yeah.
I briefly years ago worked at King Tut's for like a few months to cover someone who was on holiday, and so I was mixing in the main room, and I mixed Lewis Capaldi.
Did you?
way.
I didn't know that.
Before he was like anyone, like he was just
Oh.
like. I used to be quite mean about it. You would get like I would say like the nights would be like not themed nights, but they put people on together that made sense with each other,
Yeah.
and you just get like four guys and like, is this the same guy? And it's all over. Like they were just like a
They were-
mesh of
yeah.
the same people. And like I don't remember. Sorry, I don't remember thinking Lewis was anything special, but
clearly there was
somebody saw
something.
something and went, "That'll
Yeah.
work." And
Yeah.
and they, you know, he had so much
That's
kind of around
interesting.
him. Like,
I think it's with Lewis as well, though. It's his social media.
Totally. His
brought him up,
personality, like,
because he's just
he's
so
so funny.
funny.
Yeah, he could be the
could,
type of person
aye.
to be a comedian if he wasn't a musician. I think.
Get him
Yeah.
on. Get him.
Oh yeah, do I do Rick Rollins?
he's re-emerging because he took time off for
I
his
saw
mental
some
health.
videos
I think
recently,
he seems
yeah.
to be coming back, which is nice.
Yeah.
Oh, I hope he's okay. He seemed like a nice boy.
Yes.
Yeah, it does. Seems
I
lovely.
went to, there was one Fringe that my flatmate hadn't seen. Like, I used to live in Edinburgh, and then for about 5 years, and when she moved to Glasgow a year before me, and she was like, do you know, I've never seen a Fringe show. And I was like, I've worked at all of the Fringes that we'd lived together as well. And I was like, that's mad, because I feel like I'm always in it, and she just never got into it. And so that last Fringe, we were like, right, we're going to see one improv, one like just stand up, one musical, one circus, and we were like just gonna go through it. And then we were like, right, let's do it now. And it was about 9 o'clock, and the only
PM?
show, and the only show that was there was a magic show.
Oh,
Scary.
Yeah, and it was like in the assembly, it was adults only magic show.
Oh,
and
no.
I said, and I quote, "Oh my god, that will mean." Adults only. That will mean there'll be like loads of knives, and I thought it would be. I genuinely thought
such an
that it
idiot.
would be like chainsaws and like fire and like really dangerous, because it was like 18 plus. And then we sat down, and I literally was looked to my left, hen pie, looked to my right, hen pie, and I was like,
oh, you're looking at a sea dicks going, where's the knives?
honestly, they just had their
he's gonna
cock
want
and
to put
balls
that
out.
away when the knives come out.
Yeah. Oh, I was so.
Oh,
I was
bless you, that's so sweet. Like,
Were you
danger,
disappointed with the lack of knives?
yeah, I was like, fucking rock out, let's rock out. I was scared. But yeah, and then they came out, and I was just like, oh, I feel really like pervy. I don't like this. And then there was one that they had, they basically, it was doing that, like, they need to escape something, but they both had huge banners next to them, and they were both trying to escape, and they said the first person to escape will pull the other person's banner, and it's just a full nude of them.
Wow, it's like a sort of like what's that dating show on Channel 4?
Oh,
It's like Naked Attraction,
Attraction.
like
Yeah.
Jeopardy.
And then
But surely like they've.
They
It's
took
not
the-
much Jeopardy, because they know that the pictures, like they took the picture.
They were there.
It
It
live
was,
to
so
make
it was
sure.
basically either we would see, like, it was a race, so you would only see one person out of the duo fully naked, and everyone was like, "Woo!" And I was sitting there like,
I was going to say, yeah, because obviously, yeah, it's not that the stakes are quite low, because they've consented to it, and if they haven't, then that is a dangerous show, you see.
yeah.
That is a risky
But
show.
they had I did laugh once.
Okay, well, great.
It was like they picked on this lassie, and she wanted to be involved, so it wasn't fussing. And they were like, "There's held up this this piece of paper that had 4 like doors on it,
Yeah.
and it said 1, 2, 3, 4, and they're like, right, what do you want to choose? Just pick one, and whatever you choose, we'll do that." And then she was like, "Number 3." Oh fuck, are you sure? Yeah, number 3. You can change at any point. Nah, number 3. Picked up number 3, and it said hug. And then they're like, right, okay, give you a hug. And then as he like moved the piece of paper around, it showed like the rest of the answers, and all 3 of them said anal. And I was like, that's funny. But then was like really uncomfortable. Was waiting for the chainsaw
If that
encore.
goes wrong,
Oh,
sorry.
well.
And you're like,
well, that's the show.
lock the doors. But yeah, so I've not seen any magic since.
Magic is I don't know. There's something about magic that attracts freaks.
See, for you, it's like, because this is obviously very new to me, but you's working in the space. That must take, because you're saying you don't really go to the front. Obviously, you work at the front, or you, whatever. But that, like, comedy, and it must, when you work, it must kind of take the fun out of it a wee bit.
Well,
or does it make you more passionate about it?
I think it just changes it.
Aye.
Like I've said before that, like, obviously you see some comedians, you see them do the same set like 100 times maybe, and so like you know that you could probably do it word for word.
Should
so
lip
it's
sync
not
their sets.
so it's not funny. What?
You should lip sync their sets.
It's like stand and
Sitting by
run.
the toilet.
But like
Alex Horn did a show like that. He came
Did
on
he?
stage and the full first 20 minutes of the show was him lip syncing to a playback, and then he would do a whole. It was weird because he'd start taking the microphone and keep going. You're like, oh my god, what's he? Oh, that's not going to work on the podcast. I moved my microphone, but he started moving the mic away from his mouth and stuff, and like, but it was still going, and it was like, oh shit, he's been lip syncing for the past. And then you wouldn't know.
When he
in
was
the rest of
actually
the show,
good.
sometimes he would lip sync and sometimes he would. I was like, I can't actually remember why.
That's
he did
cool.
It.
Which is cool.
Because I mean, I saw loads of his shows back. I used to be a massive, like, I still am a massive fan. He did a show where he lived the entire human life in a day. Sorry, the entire human life in an hour. So you went to see the show and he'd get members of the audience say, if you were to condense the average human life into 1 hour, what percentage of it? And I got picked and I had to be the guy, like, how much of your life you spend asleep? And I had to lie on the stage for the whole show, just like pretend to be asleep. While someone else like sat in traffic lights and somebody else sat on a toilet and somebody else like like ate food, and there's like, how much of your life do you spend doing these things?
that's
so
cool.
He did another one where he was like doing betting, like it was about there's a name for it. The one where you sort of gamble on potential things that could happen, like I bet you I can get a hole in one, and like how, like, what are the odds for that sort of thing, and like I bet you I can like kick this pigeon over a house or whatever. Like that was, I'm sure that was one of the things. I'm sure that was in there. No, I think no. The thing about
classic
that was
pigeon bet.
he was talking about betting, and it was like, I bet I can get a hole in one, but when he tried to get the hole in one, I know what I've done there. He hit a pigeon out of the sky with the ball, and he's like, the irony of that being, if I'd bet on can I hit a pigeon out of the sky with a ball, the amount of money I would have got, and I never got a hole in one. And he's like, but this is the whole thing about it. It was very funny and also very clever. Why am I mentioning Alex Horn?
I don't know.
we was a good lip syncing show.
Because he lip syncs his show, and you said you should
So-
lip sync your show.
Well, I think
there.
there's people who sets like you. It's not funny in the way it's not funny for us in the way that it's funny for the audience, because we've seen it so many times. We know what the punchlines are, but there's a different kind of funniness in because like the audience is going to react differently every time. It's funny knowing that there's a joke coming up, and like it's like exciting to see the crowd laughing, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then also sometimes when the comedian says something different or they get something wrong or whatever, then that's funny for us. And the crowd don't know that
I love
any
watching
different.
comedians break at their own
Yeah,
stuff.
exactly.
We're kind of like on Christmas where your mum's sitting in a dressing gown and she's watching you open the Christmas presents. We're like,
What did
you get?
But
Yeah.
also, like, I am obsessed with comedy, and like that's why I got a job here. But like, while working in the Fringe, I will go and see like a show a day at least.
Yeah.
And everyone thinks I'm a freak. One day was it last Fringe? I had a day off and I saw 9 shows.
mental.
Just like one after the other. So yeah, I still like comedy even though. But you definitely watch it differently than.
I think you become more like, and it's not that we're special flowers, it's literally just because you see it so much. You become so aware of technique and how people write jokes. And you can see them writing the joke as they say it, and you go, right, well, I know how this is going to end. Like you see the callback as they say it and go, well, that's the end of the show.
Yeah.
Like as soon as they say it, you go, well, that's what that's going to be.
Yeah.
And like you can sort of sometimes, which is why I think it's fun when someone does something and it surprises you and you go, oh, I did not see that. Like,
and it's like why we like stuff that's like really weird.
Yeah.
I think that's, you'll find most people that work in comedy clubs, their things they like are just weird.
Yeah.
Because it's stuff that you just cannot predict what the hell is going to happen, and that still tickles you. I think when you can still respect and appreciate like a really well written set and really well written jokes. And it's not that we don't laugh at stuff because it's good stuff, but yeah, I think it changes how you
I do love
interact with
weird.
comedy.
I saw a guy. So I saw a guy. See the gig that Viv runs. So I saw a guy. It wasn't on the main gig. It was on after it, and it was the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life. Right? It was wearing a full suit. Classical music played, right, and there was only maybe about like 20 people there, right. He went round everyone and went, "Nice here, nice here," right. Just done it one by one, gone like that to everyone. And then that was his set. And then went right, music played again, and it just went round everyone like, thanks for coming, and that, and like I love shit like that because I was losing it, but I love looking at other people who are
really
just
confused.
like, what like that wasn't even funny. I'm like, no, that was the funniest thing anyone's ever done in here.
I like it when people come out and they're like, right, let's keep this energy going, bring it up, come on, no, keep, and then people are like, okay, yeah, and then they do it for a bit longer, and they're like, okay, this is the whole bit, and then it's like, no, let's keep this,
I love when like people just take it. It's because if you take something too far, you eventually make it funny again. It's like, but you've got to commit. There's got to be an uncomfortable period where it's no funny, and then eventually, like, oh no, that is funny because they're fucking mental. Like,
I do sometimes quite enjoy when, and I think some people do it better than others, like the sort of deconstruction of comedy. I kind of enjoy it when a comedian comes on and. Sometimes they do it very explicitly and they actively like, is it Richard Brown as the robot?
Yeah.
Yes. I saw
Thanks
that.
for coming. Thanks for coming. That does get me.
Where are you from?
That.
and that's just the woman.
And that's just the women. Thanks for coming. Like, that's funny. That's very funny.
I just saw that at Christmas and he said they hadn't done it in a while and I was like, I love that.
It's really good.
I like
because it's so kind of like, I don't know, it's also like kind of if you're a comedian in the audience going, oh, that's me, I do that.
Yeah.
But I like laughing like extra loud up at the tech box just to be like, I find this funny.
Always look at the technician at a show, especially if it's a fringe show and it's on show 30. If they're laughing, something's happened. It's either new or the comedian's made a mistake because they do not laugh after you've seen it. After you see the show 3 times, you're like, never again.
I used to think about that as well because like obviously the fringe was so new to me, and then I kept the 2 techs I had were like the sweetest, most amazing guys ever, and I remember just thinking that by like show 10 being like, oh like, I'm like so sorry you have to see this. You know what I mean? You're like, fuck, they've seen it, like they know what's gonna happen, and it's stupid.
There was the first it was the second fringe that I teched for Simon Munnery. And
if
I
there's
made
that show, you never know what's going to happen.
neither does he. Love him. He's amazing.
Love you,
Simon.
Friend of the pod.
Friend of the pod, friend of me, friend of us. And he, on the first day, I think he said something like he was putting his props away, and he looked at me and he was like, I think that went well. And I was like, yeah. And he was like, oh, you're going to be so sick of me. And then I kind of made a throwaway, like, oh, I bet by the end of the fringe, I'll know like the entire hour. And he was like, nah. And then he said, but how long do you reckon you could do? And then I was like,
scary.
right, I don't know. We'll see. And then on the second to last day of the fringe, but it was my actual last day, he was like, oh, and tomorrow I'm going to make you do that as much as you can. And I was like, well, joke's on you, I'm not working tomorrow. And he was like, okay, well, you do it today. And I was like, no! And then he was like, how much do you reckon you could do? And I was like, I could definitely do the first sketch. And then he was like, okay, well, go on then. And then and I was like, oh, no. No. And then he was like, well, okay, well, you don't have to, like, it's fine, like, if you're too scared. And then I was like, oh, no.
That's psychology.
No. And then he was like, listen, I've only sold 20 tickets. Yeah. I've only sold 20 tickets, so like and I was like, oh, do you know what? This is fun. Like, this is a good bit. If I do it, then I can say that I've done it. And then I went up and said to the boss at the time, oh, I think I'm going to do this, like, how funny, you know, last hurrah for the fringe, and like it's only to 20 people. And Ian was like, 20, it's sold out. And then I went into the green room and I kicked the door and I was like, you liar. And he was like, you can back out at any point. And then I was like, nah, I can't, I'm not a shy man. So I did it.
Oh, you did it?
I know that. I did it. But then I made how
did it go?
Did you get a laugh?
Yeah, I did.
Well done.
Yeah. I was dressed up and I had to do this, like, really. I was dressed up as what is the guy? Who are the guys that wears the wigs, the white wigs?
Judges.
Yeah, I was dressed up as a judge, and then I needed to. I messed something up. I was supposed to say something about tentacles, but I said testicles. And then I heard Simon laugh, and then he was like, I should have said that the whole time. And I didn't even know what I said. I made sure no one took a picture of me because I was like, I don't.
If you made Simon laugh, that's a success.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then
Good job.
he gave me a book, and he wrote in the book, thanks for the opening kiss, gave me a £5.
How many times has he given you that book?
that I have 4 books of the same thing.
And then the next year he came back and the first show he just brought his dog out.
Yeah.
Just like, oh, there's
I
a dog.
love him.
It's a
I
good
really
show.
recommend seeing Simon for
I believe he's
anytime.
on at the Stand this French, so you can come. Yeah. And also, I think he's doing a solo show here. I mean, this will be after this is out. He's doing a solo show here pretty soon.
Yeah.
Saturday.
This Saturday. So in the
Wow.
past, everyone,
Yeah.
it happened.
No point.
It
in
was
saying
great.
that.
She did the opening.
10 minutes.
Who are some comedians that you?
Hate.
Yeah.
Actually, I was gonna ask you a question. Can I add on to that though?
Yeah.
Have you got any like, because your route in was like TikTok or like Instagram stuff? Have you got like a sort of favorite like? I feel quite a bit younger than me, but like Vine. That's like.
Oh.
the
I don't think I'm
classic.
that much younger than you, but I think I look younger than I am.
Same.
Well, you wear
I'm
it so well.
56 now. But
Wow.
I'm 32.
Oh, we're
32,
similar.
no
I'm
way.
34, so we're similar.
There we go.
So like, is there
So
any
sell
like, any like vines or whatever that are like that like still mean something to you?
I just as soon as you said Vine, the first thing that popped into my head was road work ahead.
I sure
hope so.
Yeah.
Classic.
Yeah.
I'm trying. You know what's, and I hate saying this because we're actually like pals now, but I used to love Paul.
Ah,
And now
yeah.
you
Fucking
hate
hate Paul back then. I can't stand him. He's shite.
It's almost definitely weekly that I shout, "Pink, get down!"
Yeah,
That happens a lot.
Yeah.
The first video that I ever saw of him was that tourist
The
video.
American.
Oh my god,
American.
people
George Square.
really thought that was
Oh,
real.
yeah.
I know, it was
about
amazing.
that.
So good.
In Glasgow. Aye, he was always my favourite. But it's just weird when you become friends with
Yeah,
people
what's
like
that
that.
like?
and you're
Yeah,
like,
because that relationship's now you're actually just pal, like really
aye,
good pals.
no, like you can't like admit that you're like you like their
Yeah,
stuff,
you're like,
but it's
no,
like
shite.
like you'll like it, but you're never gonna like say to your pal like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I love that."
That was so good.
You know, because that's weird. You just got to
Yeah.
keep your feelings.
Yeah.
That's quite a Scottish thing.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
like
Yeah.
suppressed.
It's like material. Like I listen to the Material Girl podcast, and I still listen to it. But like beforehand, I would have maybe said to Amanda if I saw like, "Oh, I was listening to the pod. Oh, I loved that. Was really
Yeah,
funny of you."
yeah.
And now it's just so like
Yeah, it's
because
like,
we're
why
like
would
so
you be
close. It's
listening?
like why would I text them? But it's basically like so. I was listening to you and Susan's conversation.
I was eavesdropping on you.
Oh, it does. It almost
Yeah.
feels invasive
Yeah,
because you know them
yeah.
personally, and you're
Yeah.
like, "Oh, that's a bit strange." But like, love that by the way.
Yeah.
Like she mentioned me on it once, and I'd like text her, and I was like, "Wait, you mentioned me for?" And I was like, "Why'd I say that?" It's the fucking state of me, man.
Have you ever brought up like conversations that you thought
That you'd had with them, but
But it was
actually,
actually on
you'd
the
heard
pod.
them have it.
Yeah.
Was that so much?
So-
Have you ever brought up like a conversation with Amanda or Susan but it was actually I don't know how to say it.
Have you ever thought that you had a conversation with them,
But
but actually it's something you heard them
podcast.
talking on the podcast about?
No.
Me neither. I've never done that.
I'm glad we took solid together.
I don't know. I don't think so. Because I think I'm just painfully aware. No, but I think I'm just so aware of it. Like I'm so
you're like hyper aware
like
of it, thinking about
that.
it.
I like hide that I listen to it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Amanda, I
I've done
don't listen to it. Susan, never fucking listen to
that.
it.
What was your name again?
Oh
I
wait, that
interrupted your
podcast.
question.
Never even heard it. It's weird.
You were going to ask a
Oh, yeah, I
question
was gonna,
because
like,
I thought I knew you were going to say it. It wasn't that probably.
Is there comedians that you have liked like long before doing comedy? Like even if it was like watching them on TV or anything, like
Yeah, I mean, Susan McCabe obviously was
Obviously.
like,
Yeah.
aye.
Who you
it's
must have
just-
met now, surely.
Oh, aye, aye. Met
Besties.
Susie.
Friend of the
Best
pod.
friends.
Friend of the
Friend of the pod. Aye, Susie, I followed Susie for years. I'm sure I sent her like, this is so embarrassing.
A picture of your arse.
No, I'm sure I sent her. She was on my pal Sean's podcast, Blythe, in like 2019, and I'm sure like I sent her like a message on Instagram, Twitter, being like, I loved you, that was great.
oh
Like that, like an
Did she
absolute
reply?
loser. Aye, she did. Aye.
oh there you go.
Also,
She did.
Susie's so sweet. She would have loved that.
Yeah, exactly.
She's like, Susie's a sweetheart.
Yeah.
I love her.
But I usually Susie would have been my number one.
Mm-hmm.
I got covered for a gig once, and I told people I was her apprentice.
On the tools. That's good.
That is good.
She's so good.
But no, you know what's weird now? It's like because I think beforehand I mean, obviously, like Frankie Boyle, Kevin Bridges, you know, your big ones. But I love now that actually, because like I think as well, female comedians, I hate to admit it, but growing up, I just didn't really. It's not that I didn't like them, I just didn't really know any. It just wasn't really. I also was weirdly really into American comedians, specifically. Like I loved, like, I know he's very problematic now, but I loved Dave Chappelle. Even Richard, I used to watch like old Richard Pryor when I was younger and stuff like that. But I love now being in comedy, and now I look out for it as well. I'm very hyper aware of it now that I'm in it. But I love, like, that's why I love Material Girl. I love women in comedy, and I love seeing women in comedy, and I think they're so fucking funny, and it's just, it's nice. So now, like, it's not just Susie. I know it's like, all right, like Amanda, like Susan, like they're just.
It's also good with Material Girl because they're not. It's not like they don't do it as like a token thing of like we're just women doing like they're all fantastic. And it's just like,
and the vibe is so. We've said this before, but like the vibe in the room is just so good. It's like the best. It feels the best.
For doing it, it's 100% the best.
Everyone's just having a good time.
Because people, it's like, and you don't always get that in a room.
Yeah.
Like, I get it in my own shows because people are there specifically to see you, but normally when you do like a 10 spot or whatever, it can go either way. You've kind of got to win them over.
Yeah, exactly,
Well, there's Material Girl was one of the few gigs where you just feel like, I feel like I could do really shite and people would just want to pick me up. They probably would just like... But I think we've made a joke before actually about this, about how... Is it Material Girl said that? But basically there's a gig in Edinburgh, but I think Material Girl's the same actually, where there's certain gigs where when the crowd's really good, they're fucking terrible for testing material, because like you walk away going,
like, I've not
that
learned
was
anything.
amazing.
Like,
and they loved that.
You could do the exact same set at different places completely.
But they loved it, Material Girl. They loved it. Like queer comedy nights are like that. It's like people are just so nice and so like, and you're like, right, but try and be a wee bit critical, guys.
My sister was saying she went to a queer, it was like maybe more like a cabaret night, so there's like lots of different people on, but there was a comedian on, and everyone in the audience was like clicking and like whooping so loudly that the comedian couldn't get their jokes out, like couldn't get any punchlines out, and they had to be like, guys, I know you're being supportive, but like, can you let me speak? Which is nice, I suppose. It's a nice position to be in.
I love that the gays love to do this.
That's the gayest thing I've ever done. Well, not quite.
No, it's not.
Maybe not quite. How do you feel? How do you travel? Like, how do you feel when you go down like London and stuff and other cities and stuff?
You meant like physically? I was like, how do you use the train? I'm feeling like.
Sorry, I've worked that odd.
I've only so far. So I have shows now scheduled for the next couple of months, but as it stands right now, I've only ever done London.
Okay.
And
how was it?
It was good. The first gig
you went really high pitched.
It's good. You know what? It's like just being. I had like a comment the other day there on one of my videos. It was so embarrassing. It actually gave me a complex because the person was like, "Love you, would love to see you." Unfortunately, though, I don't believe there'll be subtitles of your show, so I don't know of it. And I'm like, I'm like, shit. Do I need to really work on my? Because I mumble a lot. You couldn't understand me at the bar, to be fair.
Nah, but you did speak Simlish
no,
to
I
me.
do. I'm
What was it that you said? Oh, hit me baby one more time. Was that what you said?
Yeah.
I knew I
No, but it isn't just even the Scottish thing. I do think like I mumble a lot.
Yeah.
So, it was good. The first gig I ever done down there was like a 5-minute at Soho House.
Oh yeah.
And that was weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Soho House as in not Soho Theatre? Soho House?
Was that?
Because they're two different places, I'm sure. You're doing the same thing to me. So the Soho Theatre and the Soho House.
No, Soho House, like where wanks
the
fucking
private members club. Yeah, I was gonna say, because Soho Theatre, nice comedy venue. Soho House, private members club for wanks.
Yeah.
How'd that go?
Weird.
Okay.
I done my first ever 5, which a lot of that's about Take a Break magazine, which the crowd did not really get. There was a woman that sat at the front who had the biggest hat. you ever seen Scary Movie 3 when the hat gets bigger? I was convinced. I kept looking at it. I'm like, fucking hat's getting bigger, man. I can't do this. It's like taking up the full row, man. Like, I can't. So it was nice. But it was just weird. I was like, what am I doing here? And then I went down and done my own show, and that was nice because I would say it was like the room was like I think 100. And I would say easily like there was 30 to 40 people were Scottish.
That's nice.
They were obviously just we need something. The lassie that actually said to me, she's like, I don't care who it is, see when I see there's a Scottish person coming to town, I need to see them. I just need that bit of hame back.
yeah. That's nice.
So I know it's good, but I'm excited. I'm going down to Manchester and Liverpool.
Liverpool will be good.
Yeah.
People always talk about how Glasgow and Liverpool are very similar audiences for comedy.
So I'm doing it. It's a hot water.
water.
I'm doing that, so that'll be good.
Yeah.
Doing the gong show.
Oh, sorry.
Gong show.
Gong show?
No, I cannot think of anything worse than
I
that.
mean to say it in an accent.
I
Are you going to do the gong show?
No, I cannot. I think
that
that's
sounds
the
like hell.
worst. Yeah.
It sounds dreadful.
And there's certain comedians that are like, they thrive on things like that.
Yeah,
And I'm
yeah.
like, no, I don't want an anxiety attack in front of the panic, and giving someone all that power, fuck that.
Yeah,
like,
I
they
know.
can just get you off. So, because I would spit the dummy and I'd be like, oh, fuck you. Do you want to fucking be here?
Like one of those failed X Factor auditions.
Yeah, that would be me. No, so I'm excited. I feel like I'm in my head, I'm like, right, if you can do London,
Yeah.
surely
Well,
everyone else will
You've
understand
done
you.
Edinburgh, I take it. As you've done
Done
stand Edinburgh,
Edinburgh,
and Monkey
aye.
Barrel, all
And
that
I
stuff.
could be one of those comedians that makes the classic joke of Edinburgh being in England
Ah,
that
yeah.
we've never heard before.
Listen, it always ends here.
It does. It's a great joke. I love it.
We all, like we talked about it before, again, just purely due to the nature of the city, is that Edinburgh is more of an international gig. So
Yes.
it's more like a London-y sort of gig. So if you can do Edinburgh, you're probably
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
You'll be fine.
Do you have any material that's like specific to, that's like local?
Aye.
Because, but like that
Talking
can
about
be,
young
that
teams,
can
no?
be.
Yeah.
Oh, the young team's best.
Yeah, so I've got a bit of a young team. So,
But you get young teams in other places. It's maybe just
so
like.
so when I done my show in December, I went down and I was trying to explain to them, and this woman was like, "Yeah, it's like gangs. We've got that here." And I was
Oh,
like,
they're
"Aye,
different.
but your gangs sell the drugs,
Yeah,
and we gangs take
yeah,
the drugs.
yeah,
Like, different
And also,
business
like,
model."
young team just is like like as a phrase has more comedy in it than gang. Like,
and
that's
like gang.
It's because the image of what that is
It's
just
just
a
like a
bunch of
wee
wee
gang.
guys.
We should
bring back
As well, it's like
gangs.
so unserious because obviously like there is like gang culture in Scotland and
Yeah,
it's very
yeah,
serious and it's like talking about the shit that I was a part of, which was
Were
like,
you in a young team? Like, I know you started talking
well,
about...
the whole bit is about how I wasn't in one, but me and
Right.
my pals made up one.
Sure, and is that true?
That's true.
See,
We made
that's
up
what I was
called the
asking.
YCC, which
Yeah,
is
yeah.
called the Young Clinic Crew.
Young Clinic Crew, yeah,
Because
yeah.
we used to drink wine outside the local GP clinic. And
Excellent.
it goes on a
Did you have a men sheet? Did you have like a...
just a YCC and a bus.
Fair enough.
Ours was YLT. I wasn't in the YLT. Come on, but young Leaf team. Oh, sorry, I'll do it with this hand.
Supposed to be the young ladies team.
Like, you do that, and it's like that's the
Oh,
Y,
actually-
that's the L, and that's the T.
That's
YLT.
cool.
And then that
Young
get
teams are dead clever.
that got drawn everywhere. YLT, fucking everywhere.
My local young team was the CYT, the Court Hill young team.
That sounds posh.
Well, I come from Bears Den.
Yeah.
I can't pretend I'm someone I'm not, but like, yeah.
I don't know why I walked with like a picture of them instead of baseball bats, just having tennis rackets.
But what I mean is
No, but they
that
were
like
very
is there stuff that material that like essentially people everywhere will understand, but you just have to change the like names of the places, or like Liam Farley has had a joke that's like, as you can tell by the state of my teeth, I'm from Paisley, which he can do here, but he couldn't do in London because they don't know about it. So he has to say I'm from Glasgow. But is there like other bits like that you would have to change, or do you think you can just?
No, I don't think I've got anything to. I used to have, so that's why I changed that actually, because in the first version of my Fringe show, I had a bit about moving to Glasgow. And it was very like, so I moved to Tradeston and I moved to the Wallace Street flats.
Oh,
Right. So I had a whole bit about that, about like,
Across from the House of Share.
the next across the house of share, and the whole bit we got like robbed in the first week of being that. It was terrible, but it was very, I loved it. But it was one of those things that's hard to, you could still build the image, but it's funnier when you know
just
what the
know.
Wallace Street flats are.
I'm honest. Who is the Share of the House of Share? Because it's obviously not Share.
Cher
So what
Lloyd.
is it? Cher Lloyd. I'm going to think Cher Lloyd. Cher Lloyd.
I've never thought about how gay that is.
The House of Share right across from your big gay house. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but the phrase, because it's like drag queens of like
yeah.
the house of,
Yeah,
aye,
yeah,
this is
yeah,
the house
yeah.
of, like,
HAUS.
aye.
It's coming out like... I've made her sound weird. I don't know what cares. Yeah, but I can't talk like her. Does she talk like that? I don't think that's how she talks. I sound like a Muppet.
Snap out of.
Yeah.
But that's how she sings, for sure. Oh, walk in the mail first. That I can do, but not... It's not how she talks. It's not far off Morrissey.
Oh yeah,
Morrissey.
cancelled.
I will go hard and I just go.
Aye, it's got that
more
tone.
Kermit.
Uh,
I'm telling you. Do you hate Morrissey or do you hate my impression? It
Yeah.
could be both.
yeah.
So we always end our pod episodes with Molly. We'll just make up a question off the top of her head, and good luck. It may be about breakfast again. We don't know.
No.
We actually have already done quite a lot of would you rather. Anyway. No.
I can't.
If you were a darts player,
Right.
It's good stuff.
I look like I could be. Put me in like a wee polo shirt.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah,
that
yeah,
would
yeah,
do.
What
shirt
would
on,
your
yeah.
darts
Oh.
nickname be?
all right.
Sorry,
no
no.
questions.
Sorry.
Okay, what would your darts nickname be, and what would your walk-on song be? Because I think
Yeah, it's a good comment.
that's different to entry song for a comedian.
Yeah.
Although Gareth Wall disagreed with me.
No, I think I
I've not
just.
been on the pod.
No, but I've spoken to him before in my life.
You speak to other people outside this podcast.
So you know,
I
baby.
don't. This is my only socialising time.
Yeah, so nickname and walk-on song.
I will. Oh no, I can't say that. I was going to tell you a joke, but it's nothing to do with darts. Can you not ask me what my nickname would be if I was a boxer?
Yeah. What would your nickname be?
I don't think I can. You've already been put it in, so I'm not going to say it.
No, what would it be if you were a boxer then?
Dyke Tyson.
That's
Like-
good.
That's good,
That's
eh?
good.
That's good.
put that in.
Surely
I mean,
darts
I can say it.
Exactly.
go in.
I can go in.
Surely.
That's
Right.
good.
Well, one of my
If we each say
bugbears
it
in
once
life
and
is
see
I
if
wish
Chris bleeps.
Dyke was more a stronger slur.
You think that should be
Aye, I think it
okay.
should be.
Yeah.
I think
fair
it should
enough.
be. Everyone says it, and I'm like, no, you can't say it, but just because I want to gatekeep.
I
No,
got
that's
called.
fair.
I
I want
got
a word.
called the Diesel Dyke the other day
By who? Why?
by my mum. No, someone. I guess it was like catcalling, but they like shouted out that I was a Diesel Dyke, and I was like, yeah. Speaking. Anyway, what would your walk-on song be?
As a boxer or a dart player?
Boxer.
Either.
I love putting on, like we were talking this before the pod about karaoke. I'm sorry we didn't save it for the pod. But I love the idea, like because I'm quite a masculine looking person, I love putting on the campest songs because it just throws people off. So I would say Spice Girls, If You Want to Be My Lover.
Oh, that is. I like the image that this is conjuring in my head.
Yeah.
We Dyke Tyson. If you want to be my lover.
That's so good.
That's good.
A little left, right, good night.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
You?
Well,
Oh,
fuck.
boxer or darts?
I prefer darts.
I've never seen darts, so I don't really
You've played darts.
I played
once,
darts. I'm actually legendary at
Classic
that.
Are you good
Yeah.
at darts? I
Turns
like
out,
to play
I've
them.
I'd never played it before. We went and played darts, and I was
Oh
like,
my
I don't know
God.
what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. And then I threw it, and I'd get like triple 19. Triple
Yeah,
20. It
I was like,
every
all you
time.
need to do is get at least a 5, and then they would be like, "Would," and it would get like the best score. I was so fine about it.
I used to work in an old man's pub, and darts was like very
Love
popular.
darts.
And I used to love, right, it's so funny. So see when the older men, because the older men who play darts who have done it for years, their math is amazing because obviously they're used to just
Yeah,
like
right.
whatever, right? But the younger boys that would come in, they would just use an app on their phone, and the guys in the pub would like rage, like actually shake with rage, like that's not how you do it, son. Like you need to. That's how you are fucked. You need to do it in here. You are using your wee fucking computer thing. You need to fucking. You'll never be able to.
Everything's computer. Trump said that the other day. Everything's computer.
Friend of the pod.
Friend of the pod.
I don't think so.
So no walk-on song.
Name, let's go with my name would be Razor Kill
Joy.
Joy.
That's good.
Because my name is Fraser Milroy.
That's
There you
good.
go.
That's
So
good.
Razor Killjoy, and I would walk on to Filthy Gorgeous by the Scissor Sisters.
That's an
Nice,
excellent
that's
one.
Throw them off. Throw them off. That's it.
It's also
Or
like because
Punch
it starts with the, oh yeah, and she's like probably moaning.
I often my usual karaoke song is that, just because I like to go, oh, you're so filthy. Like, I quite enjoy it. That's quite good fun.
I guess I'd be local, and my song would be "Baby" by Justin Bieber.
Nice, nice.
You do love that song.
I do.
I think mine would probably be.
It's not very boxery.
I think my name would be like Molly the Freak Fred. Like I think I like, like I think I was trying to think of like
That makes it sound like you do really questionable things in the ring. Like she took her glove off and tried to do this.
No, I was thinking she's getting her ass out. No, I was thinking darts player because you know it's like Phil the Power Taylor. I was thinking like that,
okay,
and so then I would think that I would be like my surname starts with an F, so I thought Molly the
freak is this?
Molly. I was the first thing I thought was Molly the Fat, and the
Fat?
just because I'm trying to think of names that start with F.
Molly the fat freak.
No, it would be my surname. And I think my workout, I think I'd have to do some kind of Chaz and Dave as my.
Rabbit.
Yeah.
Rabbit,
No, I think
rabbit.
I would do Getcha.
Oh, fair enough. Jude would love that. Mark Thomas.
Yeah.
Love you, Mark. Come on the pod. I
He said
miss
he
you.
would. He said he would. He
He
promised.
doesn't live here.
If we're ever down in London or if he's up here, we'll get him with the Fringe.
I
He's
will
doing the
never
Fringe.
go
We'll
down
get him
to
then.
London.
Anyways, at the
In the
end.
meantime, thank you to the person that did
Thank
turn
you
up.
so much. I had such a nice time.
Me? No, thank you so much for having me. It's
Do you
been
have
lovely.
like,
Surely
do you have
your
anything
nickname
you
would be
want to plug?
Kimbo.
Oh, Jesus,
Why
everyone's...
not Kimbo?
Kimbo Slice.
Kimbo Slice is also good.
People used to call me that.
Like as a full thing every time.
Kimbo Slice because
I think
it's
Kimbo
because of
Slice.
the
Oh, like-
you seen
Yeah,
Kimbo
yeah,
Slice,
yeah.
the big guy? He's dead now.
Oh,
And I'm not. So
Rip.
now I am Kimbo Slice.
Want to plug anything?
yeah. Considering this might come out.
You can plug
Along-
your Fringe show again. That's a
Yeah.
very good shout.
Come see me at the Fringe. Yep, 7:30, Gilded Balloon. It's gonna be class. The show's called Cowboy. I'm gonna be wearing a cowboy hat.
It's an homage to us.
Yep. I've already got the promo work. And
But that's been
just
great.
Thanks
Yeah.
again, guys.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.